So a little bit earlier, you spoke about adaptations that could be possible. Do you have a sense of what's happening in the trauma kind of contribution to the mindfulness field, of what maybe other centers and people are doing to make any adaptations, if any?
Yeah, I think it's a very live conversation that's happening, and a number of different organizations are really leaning in this moment to say, okay, let's do well by this particular moment around traumatic stress and how we're offering these different programs, interventions. So Oxford Mindfulness Center being one where there's a process happening of really combing through material, looking at the interventions and programs through the lens of trauma. And I don't think it's as much that there needs to be an overhaul of the different programs and practices, but just an increased sensitivity. So, for example, body scans. Here's a practice where we're inviting people to pay very close attention to their bodies. That has particular implications when someone's struggling with trauma. So, what are the best practices? And there's a number of things that we can do that we'll be covering in the training, where we can actually look at how to make sure that we're offering practices in a really safe and effective way.
Yeah. I think a lot of teachers would be pleased to hear that, people that have already invested heavily in training, and then, it's probably helpful for them to think it's not another training program. It's your existing training programs that you're delivering, and what you can do to be more sensitive around language and invites and different ways of framing things, if I've understood correctly.
Yeah, it's like trauma sensitive mindfulness. It keeps mindfulness and meditation at the center. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel and saying, now we're doing trauma therapy or we're bringing a lot of interventions. It's actually to say, here's this whole body of work that's being done around trauma. And there are very powerful principles and lessons that can shape our teaching in a way that can help us respond to the present moment. But it's not about trying to replace mindfulness teachings at all. It's actually, in my experience, it's to just strengthen and amplify them. And it's one more part of the toolkit, and it can inform our teaching. But yes, it doesn't detract, I don't think, from people's training that they already have.
Yeah.